Hey guys, so this is a video on how to fix your shoulders and how to get, well-functioning, robust shoulders that are pain-free, that feel really good, etc. So there's going to be three key areas that we're going to focus on. They're going to be the function of your thoracic spine, your ability to be able to extend and rotate through your thoracic spine and use that movement efficiently. Also shoulder blade mechanics, and then the third thing being, rotator cuff function and having a good functioning glenohumeral joint that's able to maintain a good central axis of rotation in that ball and socket joint through the different movements that you do. If you get these three things right and you really improve your function in those three areas, you're going to give your shoulders a very, very good chance to function quite well and feel quite good. There definitely are outliers, and there are some situations with shoulders where you do need further intervention. You do need to dive in a little bit deeper and this may not help with some situations. However, for the most part, this is going to help most people who have shoulder issues to really improve their function. So follow along and enjoy. Okay, so first thing we want to focus on is our thoracic spine. And because if we don't have enough extension through our thoracic spine or ability to be able to rotate, it's really going to affect our shoulder blade positioning, it's going to affect our glenohumeral joint, and it's going to create a lot of issues down the chain. So most people tend to lack extension in their thoracic spine, and an easy way to really combat this is to get on a foam roller, link our fingers together, put them behind our neck, pull our elbows together to pull our shoulder blades away from our spine so that we can really work on the spine here. And the key is going to be really deep breathing to expand our ribs, expand our chest, and open up those costo-vertebral joints. Basically what we're going to do is super deep breathing and then relaxing back gently. You don't want to force extension, you want to breathe really, really deeply, and with each exhale, just let your thoracic spine gently open up and get into a little bit more extension over the foam roller. So we want to do 3 or 4 breaths at a couple of different points. We can start sort of, at the base of our shoulder blades, go to the middle of our shoulder blades, and then go to the top of our shoulder blades. We're just going to do super deep breathing. And just letting our shoulders, our thoracic spine, gently open up. Okay, so our next one is going to be working on thoracic rotation. We're going to have a foam roller again. We're going to come onto all fours like so. From here, we're going to reach one arm through. Again, key is going to be in the breathing. So from there, we're going to straighten this arm and reach this arm through and try and create rotation. So it'll be deep breath in and breathe out. And reach, straightening this arm, reaching this one further. Cool. We're gonna do 5 or so breaths on that side. Then we're gonna come through and we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. So that'll be to increase thoracic rotation. So then what we're going to do is we want to actually activate the muscles that are going to keep that extension and keep that rotation. So we're going to start with a prone reach. We're going to come down in this position. From here, in like sort of a push-up position. From here, we want to get a little bit of extension through our thoracic. From there, we're going to lift our shoulders off, hands off, squeeze our shoulder blades back and down. From there, we're just going to reach one hand as far and as high as we can. Stretch, pull back, squeeze. Reach, stretch, pull back, squeeze. Pull back, squeeze. We're going to go 10 to 20 reps here. Next exercise, we're going to tie in some thoracic rotation. So from here, you can sit on your bum or sit your bum on your heels. So we're just locked in and our lower body's not going to move. One hand on the floor. We're going to reach through and then we're going to open up to the roof. Breathe in. We're going to do 10 reps on that side, and then we'll go to the opposite side. Reach through. We're going to go through as much range of motion as we can to really activate some muscles through rotation. So moving on to our shoulder blades. For most people, the issue that's going to arise with our shoulder blades, it's going to help from getting our thoracic spine more extended and rotated, or getting more extension and rotation in our thoracic spine. But the issue that most people experience is their shoulder sits in an anteriorly tilted and rounded position, essentially. And we want to get it back into this open position where our shoulder blades sit more naturally in a back and open position. That's really going to help in terms of improving shoulder mobility, improving shoulder blade function, and also opening up to the front of our shoulder and that subacromial space where we get bursitis and a lot of impingement issues and that sort of thing in our shoulder. This is really going to help with that. So how we're going to do this is we want to stretch our pec minor, which is a muscle that goes through here, touches up here and attaches in our rib cage down here. And obviously when it gets tight, it really can pull us into that rounded position. We want to open up through that, then we want to strengthen some muscles through the back to help us naturally maintain a better shoulder blade position, and ultimately allow our shoulder blades to function better through movement as well. So how we're going to do this, we're going to stretch our pec minor. We go into this position, we want our elbow slightly hold it higher than our shoulder. We're just going to face the wall to start with. From here, we want to pull our shoulder blade back and down and bring our chest in close to the wall. Then from there, ultimately all we're going to do is just gently turn away while keeping that shoulder down, keeping that elbow up. We're just going to turn away and we should start to feel a good stretch. If we're pulling our shoulder blade down, we might even feel some good muscle activation through our mid-back and our lower shoulder blade, which is a good thing. From here, we're just going to hang out and breathe. So deep breath in, breathe out. And you might find with each breath out that you can fall a little bit further into a pec minor stretch. And we want to feel a good stretch up through this area, open up that shoulder and be able to get it into more of an open position. That's the pec minor stretch. We'll hold that for 30 to 60 seconds each side. These next exercises are going to be about strengthening our mid and lower traps. So we've done our pec minor stretch. Our pec minor stretch ultimately opens up the front of our shoulder. Our pec minor sort of works as an agonist-antagonist with our mid and lower traps. So pec minor goes this way, mid and lower traps come this way. So we want to open up through the front and we want to strengthen through the back. That's what we're going to be focused on doing here, and ultimately that's going to help us have that more open, better naturally sitting shoulder blade position. So how we're going to do that, we're going to lie down on our stomach, just follow along. We're going to lie down on our stomach, in with our arms by our side to start with, and then from here we want to pick our chest up a little bit, we want to squeeze our shoulder blades back as hard as we can, then we're going to lift our hands off the ground, not letting our shoulders drop down, we want to keep them really high up, and we're going to push our fingertips towards our feet, keeping them shoulder blades squeezed back and down as hard as we can. And we're just going to hold this position every couple of seconds, squeeze a little bit harder, squeeze a little bit harder. And you're going to really start to feel your mid and lower traps really start to work hard. If you can't feel them, squeeze a little bit harder back and push your fingers down that little bit more. Every couple of seconds, re-engaging. And we're just going to hold this for 30 to 60 seconds. And then we're going to relax. So that's position number one. Now we go into position number two. So position number two is going to be similar in that we're going to have our hands in like a sort of a hands up position. So elbows at 180 degrees with our shoulders, and then elbows at 90 degrees. So that we're in this sort of Y position. From here, we're going to pick our chest up a little bit. We're going to squeeze our shoulder blades back and down again. Then we're going to lift our hands up and squeeze as hard as we can, lifting our hands and our elbows as high off the ground as we can, not letting our shoulders round over. We want to keep them shoulders pulled back and down and just squeeze up and hold. Cool, and just keep holding this position. We're going to go 30 to 60 seconds there as well, and then relax. So those are the two exercises we're going to do that we can do from home, we can do anywhere, to really strengthen our mid and lower traps. So the next thing we want to look at is our function of our rotator cuff. The main things we're going to do here to strengthen this is going to be internal and external rotation. So we can get subscapularis, teres minor, infraspinatus, And through being in this external, like this adductor position, we should get supraspinatus a little bit as well. So how we're going to do this is when you get a dumbbell or some kind of weight, we can sit on a bench. We're going to bring one knee up and we're going to rest one elbow on this knee. From here, we're going to open up to the side. We're going to pull that shoulder blade back and down, just have it in a locked position. From there, we're just going to get external rotation from there to there, there to there. We want to pick a weight that we can do 10 to 15 reps and start to get a good burn through our shoulder. We don't want to go all the way over here and lose tension. We just want to go to about here, to as far as we can, pain-free range of motion, there. So we're keeping tension on those external rotation muscles the whole time. So we know 10 to 15 reps of those. And lastly, we're going to do some internal rotation as well. So for internal rotation, we want to have a band. We want to attach this up above at a high height. So we're pulling in a downward oblique angle. From there, we're going to come out, so we've got enough tension on the band. It is important to have a band that isn't too much tension. We don't want a really thick band. We probably want more of a thin band. From here, lock that shoulder blade into position. We don't want our shoulder blade moving all over the place. And then we're going to go internal rotation, back down, internal rotation, back down. And really imagine that there's a steel rod going through this elbow, through this shoulder, and we're just pivoting on that rod to really be able to get subscapularis. So again, we're going to go 10 to 15 reps of those. We want to get a good burn, but we want a weight that we can really manage, where we're really being able to isolate and get that muscle very good. So 10 to 15 reps of those. Then we've covered internal and external rotation and being in that abductor position with our arm as well, which should get most of our rotator cuff. So in this video, we have covered getting more extension and rotation in your thoracic spine, tying that in with muscular activation as well. We've covered opening up through the front of your chest and strengthening our mid and lower traps to get our shoulder blade in more of a posteriorly tilted open position, which is going to be better for overall shoulder health. And then we've also covered, getting some strength and some hypertrophy through most of our rotator cuff muscles, so that we can have a better, relationship with the head of our humerus in that ball and socket joint, so that this joint here works better overall. You may want to focus on all three of those. You may just need to focus on your thoracic spine. You may just need to focus on your shoulder blades. You may just need to focus on your rotator cuff and really get in a better glenohumeral joint function. But that should give you an overall great, start to being able to really, really improve your shoulder function, improve or get out of pain, and improve your shoulder performance. So get stuck into that. Enjoy.